Am I an environmentalist? Yes, I am. Yet I've been happily visiting foreign countries for many years, and I've recently settled very far away from my family, so that 3 times a year I have to take intercontinental flights to visit them. I bet many of you either are in similar situations or have to fly for work or simply enjoy taking vacations to exotic places. And if you care about the environment, you have for sure felt the same sense of moral discomfort I feel whenever I buy a plane ticket. Airplanes are so much worse for climate change than train, buses, and even cars. If we care about the environment, yet we still take planes, are we hypocrites? In the last few years, we've witnessed a raise of awareness towards the environmental problems created by mankind. If the public opinion changed in regards to climate change, the industries that sell those products that create pollution needed to change strategy as well. They needed to protect their products. They needed to keep selling. And what better way to do it than transferring the responsibility of the environmental impact to the consumers? How? By simply giving them the possibility to buy a greener alternative to the traditional product. Now it's up to you at the shop to stop buying the usual polluting dish sponge. It is your responsibility to make the right choice and purchase the greener alternative. Brands make us feel that it's us consumers who are the only ones responsible for the environmental damage, so that we are the ones who have to make the right choices. Companies often take advantage of the environmental issue to offer us a superficial, misleading solution. Natural detergent, green energy, sustainable fashion, carbon compensation. This strategy is called greenwashing. And it's a strategy that many companies use to leverage a potential risk to their profits to make even more sales and more money. I explain this mechanism more in depth in this video. Going back to flying, I don't think that the sense of guilt that we might feel when taking a plane would do any good to the environmental cause. On the contrary. First, it is very unrealistic that enough of us will manage to boycott airline companies and do it for many years so that the demand will lower down and the companies will reduce, therefore, the amount of flights they offer and so the pollution that they create. Especially since even environmentalists like me take several planes a year. Second, even if we all Westerners manage to reduce our pollution, there would still be billions of people in developing countries that would add to the damage. Most of the people in this world cannot afford to care about the environment. Am I saying that we do not have any responsibility as consumers? That we should act as if polluting the environment was not even our business? Look, I'm a person who bikes everywhere she can, who buys an average of 2 pieces of clothing a year, who produces her own cosmetics and detergents with ingredients that have the smallest impact on ecosystems and reusing the same bottles and containers to reduce waste. I certainly do feel the weight of responsibility. But I don't do all these things because I think they will directly impact the overall level of pollution on the world. I am one, and if I eat a steak or take a plane every once in a while, absolutely nothing will change. These low-impact habits I have are a natural, instinctive reaction of me feeling responsible, not my main objective. The way I do my part to stop climate change is another. The only way we can stop climate change is to change the system our society and our economy works. The only way we can stop climate change is to change the system our society and our economy works. Sounds impossible? One day a man said, let's send someone to the moon, and sometime later someone landed on the moon. And that time we were challenging physics, not our society. Every big change feels impossible to achieve until you analyze it and divide the mission into actionable tasks. So let's analyze the situation. What brings our society to exploit natural resources and pollute the environment? Big question. I listed 4 causes. A system of production that promotes quantity at the expenses of quality. An economy that demands unlimited growth and that feeds human greed. A general mentality that sees nature as a mere storage of disposable energy. A social system that promotes competition among individuals. Now we have some more specific matters to focus on. What can we do about them? Well, if we want to change a system of production that promotes quantity at the expenses of quality, we need to rediscover the value of products that are well crafted and services that are humanly delivered. Human greed is a big component of the bad situation we are in today. We talked about it in other videos on this channel. An economy that demands unlimited growth will never be sustainable. We need to reintroduce the values of good measure and of being content with what you have. If we want to combat a mentality that sees nature as a mere storage of disposable energy, we need on one side to rediscover a spiritual approach to it, and on the other side comprehend the real role of ecosystem in the life of humans on planet Earth through science. Finally, let's get over neoliberalism. Let's get over this social system that makes us compete with one another. Let's start promoting empathy, solidarity, and mutual support. I question my travel choices and transportation choices all the time. Every time I book a ticket to Italy to go back home, every time I fly to Turkey to visit my family. Sometimes I feel the guilt crippling me, but when I stopped and really reflect about it, I realized that the guilt or indecision I might have will not make any contribution to the cause. On the contrary, engaging in such thoughts will just take energies away from more radical actions that would truly contribute to the change. Now that we've divided the problem into individual causes, it's easier to suggest practical and concrete actions we can take every day to truly fight climate change. Some principles that we can easily implement in our daily lives. Appreciate the details and the quality of a well-crafted item, even if the price is much higher than its industrially made counterpart. Ask yourself how sustainable a business is in the grand scheme of things before supporting it. And if you create a business, be content with the results you've already achieved. Spend as much time as you can in undeveloped areas like mountains and forests to feel their spiritual value. Research about how different species of animals, plants, and bacteria interact in nature. Make of helping others a priority in your life. Listen actively to the people around you. Do everything you can to understand their point of view, put yourself in their shoes, and empathize with what they're feeling. It's not by not taking a plane that we stopped climate change. The real act of rebellion is to practice solidarity, enjoy the little things, lower our stress levels, being detached from money, and feeling content with what we have. A profit-driven world is doomed to fail. So let's not waste our energies feeling bad for taking a flight or buying a dress that brings some joy into our life. Rather, let's focus on switching our mindset and act accordingly. Lastly, please let's not shame other self-claimed environmentalists for being hypocritical with their actions. Everyone does what they can and feel right. In an empathic, solidal perspective, let's rather praise them for at least making the effort.